Charlie, one of the questions I get asked quite a lot is what should you eat before training? What should you eat right after training? And how does this differ when you have your workout in the morning, when you have a workout in the afternoon? And how does this differ when you do specifically, let's say, a weight training session alone, or just an endurance session, or a combo of both?
Yeah, you can be tremendously specific while doing this, but I consider this all being rather nonsense because the most important thing is how you yourself can digest any sort of food and how you feel with training. For example, when I'm doing training, any sort of heavier stuff, and I have something in my stomach, the only thing that happens to me is I'm actually going to vomit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'm the kind of guy who has to train on an almost empty stomach because it does not make me feel good. So, depending on what you are doing, if you have an endurance session, it would be quite a good idea to be fueled if you are able to. So, for an endurance session, I would say to have your carbs amped up a little bit more. So higher carbs mean more quick energy that you got for these higher endurance stuff. If you're doing very low intensity endurance stuff, you can do this fasted, the famous fasted cardio in the morning, which is, I think, very dangerous because most of the people that I know do the fasted cardio in the morning with way too much intensity. You're supposed to be walking or something like that. Or if you are a runner, a mild jog. If we are rowing without even getting the slightest bit of perspiration, this would be the fasted cardio that would be good.
So, for our team, for Team Aram training, this would be reg as intensity.
Yes.
Maybe you, but not more than that.
Yes. Reg till you
Mm-hmm.
would be very good for fasted cardio in the morning. So these people that say, I want to lose weight, I need to do some fasted cardio. And if you do fasted cardio with a too high intensity, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose muscle mass
Mm-hmm.
because the protein, if you need energy, the body usually tries to get the energy as quickly as possible. So for the very, very short intensity, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it's got this ATP, which lasts very shortly. And then it needs to make energy. And usually the quickest way to do so is by using carbohydrates, carbs. We have some storage in the body of carbohydrates in form of glycogen,
Mm-hmm.
which is like 800 grams approximately. So this is enough for quite some sessions if they are full.
How long will 800 grams on average get me?
You can simply do a mathematical calculation.
Mm-hmm.
1 gram of carbs has 4 kilocalories. So if you do a rather intense session, like 600 kilocalories, this would mean 150 grams of carbs.
Mm.
One thing, in the morning, your carb storage is rather depleted because when you ate at night, the whole night, your body is working in the parasympathetic state, is doing lots of repair and burning quite a lot of the carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
So, so if you want to have something, you could actually take something which we usually do not like that much, quick acting carbohydrates, like really drinking a tiny bit of orange juice, some quick acting carbs like oats or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are two types of people I find. There are types of people who like to do morning sessions, and there are types of people who like to do afternoon sessions. I'm certainly the later type. Is there any particular preference when it comes to food over the course of the day that you should be eating? If you know you've got, say, a heavy endurance and weight training session in the afternoon.
Well, there are two things. One thing is what you do before the session to fuel up, to have the energy to do the session, which simply, in my regard, is carbs.
Carbs, okay.
Carbs. The other thing is after the session, depends on what you want to do. If you're doing a weight training session, you're going to do damage to your musculature, which is basically the idea in order to repair and to make the muscles grow and get stronger. So then you would need some proteins afterwards.
So carbs
after the
before the
session.
workout, proteins after the workout.
Yep.
Okay.
Or even intra-workout. What I'm doing, for example, I'm the guy who likes to do his weight and endurance stuff in the morning, very early, 6 o'clock in the morning. I found when I do it fasted, I'm lacking of energy. And later on, it does not give me a very good feeling because I really feel like tired and depleted. So what I do is I do them liquid. I drink. I have some carbs in form of a it's sort of a shake. It's called Pecto Pro. It's amino acids basically, and I this is also the most important thing because I ingest them with lots of water. Way much water because water is the most important supplement, you know, but this is for something for a later
Yeah.
topic. But I take for a big session, I take like 30 grams of these proteins and round about 30 to 40, 50 grams of carbs.
And we can use this.
If it's a really hard session.
Yeah. So if I can sum this up, please correct me if I'm wrong. Ideally, we should fuel up before the morning session if we can digest it in time. We can do a fasted morning session if it's not more than 1.5 millimole of lactate, which would be for Team Aram training reg to you.
Yeah.
If we do something of high intensity, for example, a weight training session in the morning, then we should fuel up with carbs before. On a general basis, you can recommend to fuel up with carbs before a session, just long enough so we have enough time to digest, so we don't feel like vomiting.
Yeah.
And eat proteins after a weight session.
Yeah.
Or for example, if we do rowing specific strength, low stroke rate, high force, stuff like that. Okay.
Which basically is strength training.
I mean, rowing has a high strength component to it, so
Yes.
probably rowers should always consider to fuel up with proteins after a session.
Yeah. Rowers way more than, for example, runners or bikers. Runners or bikers usually tend to fuel up, or they love to fuel up with fats, because they are working in very low state, but for a very long time, and they can digest. I got a friend who is a triathlete. He bakes his own bread, and in a loaf of bread, he puts inside 500 grams of walnuts.
That's a pound roughly.
That's a pound of walnuts, a little bit more than a pound of walnuts. And he needs it because as a triathlete, he's burning like 5,000 kilocalories in a session.
So how important is fat for us rowers?
Difficult topic. Basically, I wouldn't use it so much in the sense of fuel. It's more the sense of building blocks for the, not so much the sense of triglycerides, which is the, how can I say it? It's the fat that is the mainly component of something like butter or something. This is the triglycerides. They consist of long chains with a glyceride molecule, and then there are the other ones, the cholesterols, which are the basis for the hormones and all the stuff, which are quite important. Omega-3 fatty acids, like omega-3 and 6. If you can, you definitely should ingest those.
Okay. When? Any specific time?
Basically with a meal.
With a meal.
With
Okay.
a meal. This is
Preferably
also
before?
very important thing. I have lots of people who take supplements like crazy, or vitamins and all the stuff, and take them by itself. Just in the morning, they take a handful of this healthy superfood stuff, which immediately gets flushed out. All the vitamins, it's A, in Germany we say EDK. These are the fat-soluble vitamins. You can only ingest them when you have some fat going along with them.
I think we're going to do a supplement video anyway. So, yeah. Okay. So, fat with a meal, proteins after a workout, carbs before a workout. If a no fuel morning session, low intensity, please.
Yeah.
If high intensity in the morning, please fuel up before. And it's an individual question how much you can take.
Yeah.
Or what kind of food.
What kind of food you can, if you are, I mean, I know people who have a breakfast and go rowing after a breakfast, after a regular breakfast. Just the thought of it gives me sweat. I would have to vomit immediately. They work completely fine. If it works for them, it's perfect. The best thing is always to use natural food sources. This is also very important. All the supplements, all the stuff. There are many components in a natural food that are not even measurable, but they have an effect. For example, vitamin C. If you take vitamin C as the power, ascorbinsäure, you take it, you need, I think, in between 10 or 20 times as much as the same amount of vitamin C that comes from a bell pepper or an orange or a lemon. So if possible, best idea is to fuel up with whole foods, with the regular meals, and preferably organic, of course. So you don't have any additional stuff that you can't use.